continue. He just rolled out, like Scott's going to show you. He did it again. He drew out the figure 8 in the sky, and when he got on the ground, Jimmy Doolittle, who was the chief judge, who had watched what Scott is going to do now, says, "Holy, what the heck is that? We've never seen it before." Len at that time was the chief aerobatic instructor for Batista's Cuban Air Force. He said, "Oh, Jimmy, that's a Cuban 8. From that time to this, as Scott describes that maneuver in the air with his airplane, we have continued to call that maneuver the Cuban 8 despite our strained relations with that country's dictator. Okay, the right side of the 8 complete. Scott will complete, to your left, another 5/8 of a loop. You watch him play it out on top. Now he's upside down. He's got to get right side up. As he starts down on the 45-degree line, 1 and 2 points of a hesitation roll back to the right side up position, and the maneuver is now complete. I want to start describing the paint scheme to you. You look at the spinner and the black hood that goes from the spinner back to the front area of the cockpit. It's called the cape. The black cape covering the front of the aircraft represents the veil of protection that our armed forces give us. That veil is one of the reasons that we have the freedoms that we have today. All right, Scott's going to set up for the maneuver known as the barrel roll. Entry speed will be about 270 miles an hour. And for you pilots, the power setting is 37 inches of manifold pressure at 2,300 RPM. You will see this maneuver taught to World War II combat pilots as a coordination maneuver that changes airspeed, heading, and altitude, starting and ending at the same cardinal setting, using all of the controls in the cockpit, including the throttle, getting the pilot ready for a dogfight. Now, as the black cape extends to the back of the canopy, it spreads out and divides into feathers, symbolizing the eagle that has flown with every aviator since the birth of aviation here in Dayton, Ohio, and in Kitty Hawk in 1903. So now you know the story, the significant story of the black cape covering. All right, into the 4-point rolls. Scott stopping twice upside down, 3 in the knife edge flight, and finishes off in the 4-point roll. Now he is going to quadruple the difficulty factor and set up for a dedication maneuver to the great Bob Hoover, a dear friend of Dad Bill Yoak's and a great friend of Scott Yoak's and his mom Linda Yoak. He is going to do a maneuver that Bob Hoover did here at Dayton in the old Yeller P-51 so many times, the very difficult 16-point hesitation roll. Speed will be 280 miles per hour. And again, the RPM, 2,300, the manifold pressure, 37. So let's get ready to count as Scott will unbelievably stop at every 22.5 degrees. All right, Scott, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, one more. Give Scott a big round of applause. Bob Hoover would be extremely proud. Now, you may notice as Scott turns around, there is a silver ring behind the prop spinner. Folks, that silver ring represents the shining halo of the guardian angel who guides service personnel who have given the ultimate sacrifice. It guides them to their final resting place. Black and white stripes on the wings are there as they were on all Allied aircraft during D-Day. All right, now another maneuver you don't see very often. It is a Scott Yoak signature maneuver. It is the high G minimum radius turn. Entry speed 340 miles per hour. At Air Show Center, he's going to set up an 8 times the force of gravity combat turn. Oh, and the sound of the whistle coming, the air coming through that radiator. The Rolls-Royce Packard-built Merlin engine, built in mass quantities for the P-51 program by the Packard Motor Car Company of Detroit, Michigan. Watch Scott come around in that pylon turn. Watch and listen. The stars and bars proudly displayed on the aircraft represent the armed forces symbols that all United States fighter airplanes carry. It carries, by the way, the post-war version because this airplane, Quicksilver, was never a part of a unit until after World War II. All of the bare mirror image sheet metal on the fuselage of the Mustang is polished. Look closely into the metal and you can see for whom the veterans fought. By the way, on that black cape there is embedded metallic stars, a symbol to all of those who went before us. All right, now watch Scott do a signature maneuver to the branches of the military, stopping every 72 degrees, a tribute to the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, and the Coast Guard. Give Scott Yoak a big round of applause for the Pentagon hesitation roll, another signature maneuver of this talented pilot from a beautiful American family.
How about now? It's fully covered in shade.
Now, after the signature Pentagon roll, Scott will come in. He'll roll the Quicksilver to the inverted flight position. As he flies, a limited number of seconds. He has only 10 seconds to hold the airplane upside down before some things happen that aren't good. He'll give you a wag of the wings. In inverted salute, you'll see the invasion stripes on the aircraft. There's the roll. He holds an inverted flight, and there is the salute, the inverted wing wag salute. Scott Yoak, the youngest pilot performing in a low-level waiver in the United States of America, the only one and the youngest one that is to be able to do that. There is another young pilot out there on the West Coast, but he has to fly a little bit higher than Scott Yoak.
The special right now is 2 for $3. I'm like, it's $1.49 a box. Yeah, but they're 2 for $3. You sure you don't want another one? No, I think I'm fine. I'm thinking, you're going to make me pay 2 more cents.
Yeah.
So stupid.
One of the greatest things about a P-51 is the sound of the engine. Watch and listen. First of the 2 aileron rolls. Earlier today, Rob described to you that gutter that was beneath the fuselage of the F-16. You'll see where that originated on the bottom of this airplane. It is a liquid-cooled engine. It has a radiator, a scoop on the bottom of the fuselage, and believe it or not, they turned that high-drag item, or that aerodynamic inefficient radiator, into a form of thrust by actually squeezing the hot air from the radiator through a limited space at the exit point that you can see right there. They created what they call the Meredith effect, and believe it or not, gained 300 pounds of thrust, like jet thrust, out the tail of that radiator and made it to their advantage. Hell, the whistle of this P-51 is absolutely dynamic. And barrel rolling the aircraft once again. Boy, who's in his birthday month this year. At the end of July, the last day in July, he'll be a whopping 28 years of age.
Like, I'm glad someone said that at the beginning. I would have been watching a lot better.
Now the black paint, or that hooded portion that we talked about, has tiny sparkling stars. Each sparkle represents an American veteran that served our great country. The unsung stars in our lives. The veterans are the glimmering star in a mother's eye, a wife or a husband's heart, a son or daughter's hope for the future. By the way, this airplane being a family affair, that description of the paint job, so articulately done, was done by Scott's mom and Bill's wife, Linda Yoak. Hear that whistle? That's the air going through the radiator. Now, watch the bottom of the airplane and look for that scoop that was part of any liquid-cooled airplane. The radial engines, oh, there's the photo pass. You can see the invasion stripes, the stars and bars. It is said, the history books say 15,985 P-51s were built. If you heard of a different number, Rob and I say, you are right. You are right. Whatever your source says, we agree, and there were a lot of them built. I mean, a tremendous amount of these aircraft, and they were doing all